1 second and then we'll get going. All right, in this class today, we are going to be exploring the memories feature in Family Search. And even if you are someone who's been using this feature a lot, I think I have some things to share with you that you may not know were available, or if you have, you may be unfamiliar with them. If you've been watching the previous 2 classes, that's great. If not, that's fine too. The recordings are available, and so you can go watch them. And this does not necessarily build on the other 2 in the sense that you don't have to have watched them for this one to make sense. Now, this is the last live class. Next Sunday at the same time, another video will appear, but that one will be recorded. So if you have questions, this is your chance to ask them live. So please don't hesitate to ask questions. They are more than welcome, and I can see the chat. And so if you have any questions, please feel free to put them in the chat, and I will be happy to answer them. And I will talk more about next week's class at the end. So let's look at why should we even worry about memories? Like, why not just worry about names and dates and places? Isn't that enough? Well, I think memories are really what bring the family tree to life. They take it from being kind of a skeleton tree, a winter tree, to being a living spring and summer tree, fully leafed out. They give us the life of the tree. I think that you will find that if you go to a person's page and you see lots of memories, it definitely is a very different experience than if you go to a person page and all there is are names and dates and places. Adding memories is something that even small children and the elderly can do. And I think that's one of the real benefits of memories, is that everyone can get involved with them. You can have 3-year-olds and 103-year-olds. And I think sometimes, because family history has become so technical, that a lot of times it can be intimidating to the very young and the very old. But when we get in the memories, that's something that everybody can participate in, and I will show you exactly what I mean a little bit later. Now, I think that they are a better use of your time than just scrolling social media. I think that you can be working on memories in your family history in very, very small moments of time. And so those times when you're standing in line or you're waiting for something and the default is to look up something in social media of some kind, really you can be adding to your memories in that exact same amount of time. And again, I'm going to show you how to do that today. So there are different kinds of memories in Family Search, and let's look at exactly what types of memories are available to us. The first is photos, and I think when people think of memories, this is what they think of. They think of the photos. And just like in the other classes, I'm using my own family for examples today, and these are all memories of my father. So these are all photos I've added in of him, and I think that's what we think of. But in addition to photos, there are also documents. You can upload documents into Family Search in the memories, and it enables you to do a lot more with a document than you could do if all it was attached as a source. And I'm going to show you what I mean by that. So you have photos, you have documents, you also have stories. Now, stories can be something like this, which was my grandmother's actual obituary, just copy and paste it in, or they can be stories that you remember or that you want to share that you've heard that have been told. And these can be written, but they can also be added in audio. And so written stories is one kind, and then audio memories is a second kind. So you can see with audio here, there are a couple of different memories that are uploaded, and that green circle with the white arrow means you can press play. And these are memories that I had recorded and put on my grandfather's person page. So anybody who goes to my grandfather's person page can listen to these memories. And I think the audio memories are the most underused and underappreciated thing on Family Search. And I think that's saying a lot because there's a lot that's underused and underappreciated in Family Search, but this one to me is truly beautiful, and we're going to get into it more. So those are the 4 types of memories that you can have: photos, documents, written stories, and audio stories. When you want to add a memory, you just click either upload or select from gallery. So if you've already uploaded an image or a document and you maybe attach it to somebody else, it's already in your gallery. So if you want to add it to someone else, you don't have to re-upload it. You can select it from the gallery. So you will either upload or select from the gallery, and that will be the case on on images and document, right? Whatever kind of memory you're doing, you can grab it or you can upload it. You can edit during processing, and I think that when I first started working with memories, this was something I didn't understand. I would see that processing thing and think that I couldn't do anything to the image until it was done processing. But actually, you can still click on it and you can edit the details of it even while it's processing. And I recommend that you do that, because if you wait until it's processed and you come back later, you'll probably forget what you did. And that's how we end up with lots of memories uploaded with nothing on them, not even a title of what it is, right? And so edit even while it's processing. Don't worry that it's not already processed. It will let you edit it. Now, you see how there is a title here, Laura Mori birthday, and yet the picture is still processing. I can edit the details, so don't wait. Now, caveat, I'm all about putting in the memories, but if there is a living person in the memory other than you or your minor child, keep it private. So you see here this drop down. This is a drop down. It says public. Public is the default, but you can choose to set a memory to private. Why would you want to do that? Well, memories are searchable. Most things related to living people are hidden for privacy on Family Search, but memories are searchable. Memories are by default public, even if the people in them are alive, because it's hard to tell from a computer point of view, probably impossible to tell if someone uploads a picture, who in the picture is alive and who is dead. And so Family Search can't be expected to go through and figure all that out. So memories are by default public. Unless you have permission, do not make a memory of a living person public. That's it, right? Unless it's you or your minor child, unless you have permission, right? So that is probably the one rule about memories that I would say is very important to understand. All right, so those are your 4 parts of memories and the one rule. In part 2, I want to share that you can take the pressure off yourself. There's no need to upload 500 photos. I think sometimes we get intimidated because we inherited a big box of 6,000 pictures from Aunt Glenda, and now what are we going to do with them? And we're desperate to scan them all in and upload them, and we're going to be spending until we die and someone else inherits it, right? And that can be overwhelming. So let me share with you what I think about that. What I like to think of is stages and sets. So stages of life. Do I have pictures that represent this person when they were young, when they were middle-aged, and when they were old? Or if the person passed away when they were young, do I have at least a few memories that represent them in the different stages of life through which they passed? And so I don't need 85 pictures of my dad's 2nd birthday, right? All I need is a couple of pictures of when he was a little kid, and then a couple of pictures and from 20 to 40, and then a few more pictures later, and then maybe another picture that's his last picture that I know of him. Okay, I don't need 500 pictures. If I have pictures that are with important people, and I don't mean important people like here's me with the president. I don't mean that. What I mean is people that were important in that person's life. So do I have a picture of the wife with her husband? Do I have a picture of the dad with his children, the mom with her children? Do I have a picture of the sisters together? Do I have a picture of the sibling group together? Is there a picture of the whole family together? Do I have pictures of the person with the people who were important to them? And then do I have pictures that represent what the person's career or hobbies were? So for instance, one of my great grandfathers held 6 patents. I want to make sure that I upload those images and patent diagrams, right? So that those are showing careers and hobbies, not necessarily people, but they're important. So once I have this, then when I have time, I can upload more memories. But as long as you've got this, you're covered, and you don't need to stress about the 6,000 photos in the box. In fact, I would suggest this little warning. The memories that you add appear on that person's page, and anybody looking at that person's page will see all of those memories. If you upload too many photos of the same event that don't really have that much difference, like here's Aunt Allie and my cousin Cindy standing next to the fire pit, and here they are on the exact same day at our exact same family camp, but now they're in the canoe. And now here they are on that exact same day at that exact same family camp, and they're sitting in the swing. And now here they are on that exact same day in that exact same family camp, sitting on the couch, right? You get the idea. I don't need to flood the memories with multiple pictures of the same people at the same event in the same time, right? Like I don't need to do that. And so don't feel pressured to do it. And in some ways it's better to have, I would just personally, I would rather have fewer quality pictures that actually represented the person's life well than to have 400 pictures that are all of the same time and type. If there are any questions about that, I keep glancing at the chat. If there are any questions, please feel free to ask. Now, if you've already done what you want to do with memories and you have time and you have the inclination, feel free. Upload the memories, and I'm going to show you some ways if you have lots of memories. Like some of us are related to people, we're in large families, or related to people who are well known, and so there are a lot of pictures of them, or we just have a lot of people in our family who are sharing memories. I'm going to show you some ways that you can organize the memories that will help with those situations. If you see a red exclamation mark like you see here and here, what that means is that that image is missing a tag, or at least Family Search thinks it is. So Family Search looks at the picture, when I say Family Search, I mean the computer, right? So their servers are looking at the picture, and if they think, okay, this picture has 6 people in it and only 5 of them are tagged, then it's going to give you that warning. Now, I will say, well, let me say something else about that. Let me show you how to do it. So if you see that red exclamation mark, you go to the picture and you click on the picture, because you see over here in the blue, it says click the image to tag people. So I click the image and I start typing it in, and it's going to autofill from people in the family tree. As I start typing in their names, it's going to recognize. So this is a GIF image. It's going to keep going over and over while I explain what I'm going to explain. So this is a looping image that you're seeing right now. So you'll see that I make the square the right size I want, and then I start typing in my grandpa's name. And as soon as it autofills the right person, I click, and now all the people in the image are clicked. So you can see that there were clearly 3 people in this image, but only 2 were tagged. And so that's why I was getting that red exclamation mark. And that's because my grandfather wasn't tagged in this picture of him and his father and his son. And so that's how you tag the people. You click on where they are, make the square or rectangle the size you want it to be, and start typing in their name. Now, there are a couple of things. First, If there's no person page for that person, so let's say my grandfather wasn't actually in the family tree yet, I would have to add him to the tree in order to tag him in the picture. So if you have a photo that's got people in it who you don't know who they are, you're going to have those red exclamation marks. And that's just the way that it is. So don't let it stress you out. If you see a red exclamation mark, go check and see, has everybody who I know who they are been tagged? And if so, don't let it stress you out. There's another reason that you shouldn't let it stress you out. And that reason is occasionally, because it's a computer and computers aren't human and they don't think like we think, sometimes Family Search will tell you that not everyone's been tagged, but you go look at the image and you're like, everybody's been tagged. And it can be very annoying. And what I've sometimes had to do was tag the people again and then delete the tags that had been there before in order to get the red exclamation mark to go away. So that might happen to you as well. If you notice that everybody looks tagged, you can delete some of the tags and start over. Now, if you delete all of the tags, then that will take that memory out of that person's person page. So you want to leave it at least somewhere while you play with the tags. But I really wouldn't worry about that. I'm only mentioning it because you're gonna come across it. But don't let it stress you out. Of course, don't let any of it stress you out, but especially that. So let's make this way better. As I've mentioned, I'm using my own family. So here are memories that I've uploaded, photo memories I've uploaded of my grandfather. And so let's make them better. What do I mean by that? Well, first of all, looking at this, I can see that only one of these images even has a title. You can tell because the title will appear like this. Family Search makes every picture look like a Polaroid with the space at the bottom being taken up by the title. So I can see that of all these images, only this one has a title. These had people missing in the tags and the rest of them have no titles. So first, I'm going to come over here and for each image, I'm going to fill in what I can in this section right here. So let's look at what I mean. I'm going to fill in an event date. Now, I didn't know in the case of this picture, let me go back. So this is a picture of my father, my grandfather, and my grandmother. I don't know what year this was taken. I found this picture in my grandmother's things. I don't know what year it was taken. However, I know that my dad, I can tell by the way he looks that he had not yet been in the Navy. And I know what year he went in the Navy. So I say this is taken about 1963. I know that they lived in Onondaga County, New York. I don't know what town this was taken in. Probably either Syracuse or Baldwinsville, but I don't know. So for the event place, I'm just going to put the county and the state and the country. If I don't know the county, I'll put the state. If I don't know the state, I'll just put the country. So just be as specific as you can, but it's okay to be approximate. Then I'm going to put in a description, and I'm going to talk more about descriptions in a little bit, but I just explain what is this picture. And then, oh man, I'm giving away my secrets. Okay, but I'll talk about it right here. Do you see this add to album? I can create an album of different kinds of pictures. So remember when I said that you can organize your photos? So you could create a whole album that would be like the children of so-and-so. Some couple. I could also do family reunion, 2016. And all the photos that were taken at that family reunion, I can add to an album. And that's another way that I can organize them. So if you have a lot of pictures, if you're someone who has been committed to uploading memories, or you have a large family and lots of people have been contributing to the memories, my suggestion would be to create albums and add photos to those albums so that they can be easily organized and people can look through those albums. Next, I can also add a story if I want to. So I can then record. So what I did there was I added an audio memory to this story. Now, I wasn't born when this picture was taken, so I don't have an actual memory of it, but I was able to record something about this family. And anybody who goes, and I've tagged all 3 people in this picture now, and so anybody who goes to any of their person pages will be able to listen to a memory about this as well as look at the picture. And multiple people can add memories. So if you have a picture taken from a family reunion or a funeral or some other event where multiple people were, multiple people can add memories of that photo. Make sure that you add a title. A title is perhaps the most important thing that you will add to a memory. Now, you can only add the title if you uploaded the memory. So if you have a lot of pictures, if you have a lot of photo memories in your family tree that other people have uploaded and they haven't put in titles, you can, if you know them, text them or call them and say, hey, could you add titles to those images? Because I can't, because you're the one who uploaded it. Or send them a message and say, hey, cousin, I noticed that you uploaded a picture of great grandma Florence. Could you please add the title Florence Russell Gates to that picture? And I can't because you're the one who uploaded it. Thanks for uploading it, right? And thanks for considering doing this. So if you uploaded the image, add a title. Now let's talk about titles. And we'll talk about descriptions at the same time. Titles and descriptions are crucially, vitally important. They are searchable, and so they help the algorithm in the same way that a lot of other good practices in family search do as well. So let's look at it. Make your title helpful. What does a helpful title look like? It is short and it is relevant. What's this picture about? And it should be as few words as possible that tell you what it's about. So this is Midge Morey and his mother. Now, my grandfather's name was Frank Maurice Morey, but he always went by Midge. Sometimes I title his pictures Frank Maurice Morey. Sometimes I title them Maurice Morey, which is really, he went by that, but his nickname was Midge. And so sometimes I will title them Midge. Why will I do that? Because I want the computer to know these are all the same person. Frank Maurice Morey, the younger, Midge Morey and Morris Morey, they're all the same person. And so in the title, I will do that. Now, additional information goes down here in the description. So this is the title, Midge Morey and Mother, and then this was the description. Grace Parkinson Morey, so that's the mother in the title. Now I'm going to give her full name. Grace Parkinson Morey was son Maurice Frank Morey, again his full name, circa 1942 on visit with his wife Laura Gates Morey and son Richard Morey. Now notice what I did here. That's a mistake. I say with his wife. Well, I had said Grace Parkinson Morey. That makes it sound like Laura Morey was Grace's wife, but it was really Morris Frank Morey's wife. So I should change this to say on visit of son Morris and his wife Laura Gates Morey and their infant son Richard Morey, right? Be careful when you're doing the descriptions that you don't confuse other people, because you know what's in the picture and it makes sense to you when you read it, but to other people reading it, it can be a problem. And if you watched the last class, you saw that happen, because in my father's obituary, the computer misread and thought that my dad's best friend's wife was actually my dad's wife. So another thing that you can add in the description is, where is this document? So this is a document I uploaded, the Social Security application of my great-grandfather. Now notice that I put born 1885. Why would I do that? Because my great-grandfather and my grandfather had the exact same name, and my grandfather was not known as a junior. And so in order to differentiate, in order to distinguish them from each other, I put the year that they were born when I want to make sure that people understand which one I'm talking about. Another thing I will put in the description is who has this document. So if this is an original document, who's got it? And in this case, it's me, right? So this Social Security application, I wrote away for it. I paid the cash money for it. when I upload it, I'm going to tell people I have it. So if anybody wants a photocopy of it, or if they want to ask me a question about it, they know who to contact. It is very, very, very good practice and very nice, very good manners. If you are the holder of a document or a photo and you have the original, it is very nice of you to say that you have the original, because that way people know who to contact when they are looking for it or have a question about it. Instead of listing all the people in the title, a better practice is to make sure that they are tagged. So what we're going to do, instead of putting in the title the name of all of the people who are in the picture, we're just going to make sure that all the people in the image are tagged. So we're going to do this: Frank Morris Maury family. So this is my great-grandfather, Frank Morris Maury, and his son, Frank Morris Maury, and his son, Richard Maury. But instead of that, I'm going to say Frank Morris Maury family, not Frank Morris Maury's family introducing his son, Richard Maury, to his father, Frank Morris Maury. All right. That's too long for a title. That is for the description. Keep your titles short and sweet and your descriptions rich and full. Okay, in the description, we can do all kinds of lengthy stuff. Don't worry about how long your description is. You can write forever. In the title, what are you going to say then? So remember, titles are short and sweet. You can say the name of the person, if it's an image of one person, the name of that person, or if it's a family group, the name of that family group. You can also say, so you could say the family of, or the siblings of, or the children of, or the descendants of. If it's a big event, you can call it that. If it is a specific object, like my father in the Navy, I might say, USS Hammerberg. Richard Maury on USS Hammerberg, something like that. That's what we put in the titles. So the title should be a description of, what am I looking at? I'm looking at a picture of the children of so-and-so. I'm looking at a picture of the siblings of so-and-so. It may be an event, right? So it may be 4th of July barbecue, 1962. Wedding of so-and-so. Funeral of so-and-so. Memorial service of so-and-so, right? Christmas vacation a certain year. A family cruise some year, right? What is the event? You can do that as well. And then that's especially helpful when there are a lot of different photos of different people at the same event. When you title it with the event, then tag the people, it makes it easier for everyone to tell, oh, these pictures all go together. Don't worry if you have a picture and the person's name isn't in the title. That's fine. You will tag them. That's how we know they're in the photo. You can also tag it with a place, right? This is the family home. Or this is, 1106, whatever your address is. You can say, this might be a church, right? This is at the Houston Temple, or the Cathedral of Notre Dame, or St. Patrick's Cathedral, the National Cathedral, or St. Mark's Episcopal Church in Arlington. If it's a place, this is the cemetery. This is Warner's Cemetery, or this is Forest Lawn Cemetery. You can tag groups of people, events, places, reasons. Why was this photo taken, right? So this was the school picture, or this is a passport photo, or in the case of my father, I have a ski, season pass ski thing, or even a driver's license photo. In this case, this is my grandfather, and this was a Marine Corps photo. I think it was probably taken soon after his promotion to captain, because that's the highest rank that he attained in the Marines, and it is the rank he's wearing here. And so I put in the title his name and Marine Corps photo, right? It is his Marine Corps photo. So you can, in the title, again, the group it is, or the person it is, the location, the event, the reason. All of these make good titles. For documents, say what kind of document it is. Is it a marriage certificate? Is it a letter? Is it an obituary? Is it a grave record, like a cemetery record. In this case, it was a Social Security application. Is it a death certificate? Is it a deed, like a land deed? Is it a bill of lading? Is it an inventory from a I'm trying to I'm like thinking of all these documents, but like sometimes when people die in the probate records, there'll be like a list and inventory. So is it a probate record, inventory? Whatever it is, say what that document type is. That's very helpful. If it's a letter or a journal transcription, say what that is. So this is a letter from my great grandfather that he wrote to his children. And so I upload the letter, and then so that letter is there, and I say what it is, letter from Alfred B. Gates to his children. But then I can also type in as a separate document a transcription of that. And in that title, I would say transcription of letter. And I can even link to the original one. All right. So those are best practices for titles and descriptions. Now, let's look at when the app is best. Now, a lot of us have the Family Search Family Tree app on our phone, but I want to talk about another app. So Family Search has two apps for the phone or an iPad. If you have an iPad or a tablet, it has two apps for this. The first one is the one you're familiar with, Family Search Family Tree. The second one is less common, but I think just as, if not more useful, and that is the Family Search Memories app. You can find it in the store. This is what it looks like in the Apple Store. It looks like this, and it looks almost exactly the same in the Google Play Store. And it is a little bit different looking as the icon. So the Family Search Family Tree app is a green tree on a white background. The Family Search Memories app is a white tree. And if you're a Lord of the Rings fan, it's like the white tree of Gondor on a green background. And so I think it's worthwhile to have both apps. And let me show you why I think that. Because it is so easy, so easy to add memories from the app. Easier than from the computer if you are, like, let's say you're at your aunt's house and she's got a bunch of pictures around of your family. You don't have to ask her, oh, can I borrow those photos and take them home and run them through my scanner? No, you can just hold up your tablet or your phone and take pictures of them. I have lots of pictures in the memories in Family Search that I took those photos on my phone from the Memories app. In fact, you know what? You can see one right here. This photo right here is my Uncle Bob. That's my Uncle Bob. And that was sitting on my aunt's dresser. And I was like, I don't have that picture of Uncle Bob this is from when he was in World War II. Can I take a picture of that? And she said yes. And so I took a picture of it. And then, actually, I'll add this in the description box after. I'll type it in the chat right now if you want to know. But I used a website. Oops, I typed it incorrectly. It's called remove.bg. And I used that remove.bg, and it took the background out. And so then her dresser and like her perfume and all that stuff wasn't in the picture. I just uploaded the photo into remove.bg, took the background out, and then uploaded the photo. But I had taken it right with my phone. So when you want to add memories from the app, you just open up the Memories app and you will see this green circle with a white plus sign. That is for add a memory. Just click that plus sign. You can do all kinds of memories. You can upload documents, you can upload photos, you can do everything that you could do. But what's really beautiful is recording audio memories is really easy in the app. And you have your phone with you almost everywhere, right? When you click the plus sign and you say that you want to add an audio memory, then you will see these prompts, and they're asking you questions. And that is for if you're recording about yourself. And so you can ignore those prompts. If you are not recording stories about yourself, you can just start talking about whatever memory you want to make. Just click start recording and it will ignore it. But if you're recording memories about yourself, these are prompts to get you started. So that's what that is. And you can ignore it if you like. Now, once you've recorded your memory, it's important to tag the people who are in the memory. So if I'm recording a memory about, like I recorded a memory about shopping for a new apartment. That's what this memory was. And that memory had my grandfather and my grandmother and me in it. And so I'm going to tag all of us, because then it will attach to all of our person pages. So see that person with the plus sign right here, click that, and then you will start typing in a name, and if it's in the tree, it will pull it in. So that first one, I start typing in my grandpa's name and it finds it, and then I click on it, and then I click on the next person and the next person. Now when I'm done, there'll be a number in green at the person, and that number will tell you how many people are tagged in the photo. And that's how you can tell if you got everyone. Like let's say you wanted to tag 6 people. If you see that green after you click done, and that green circle says 6, then you know you got them all. You can always go back and tag more people later, but when you're working in the app, that's a good way to check. Okay, before I move on with that, if there are any questions about the adding the audio memories in the app or adding any of the memories in the app, you feel free to let me know. I'm going to share some pro tips now, but if you have other questions, please don't hesitate to ask, and please don't hesitate to ask about something I asked either in earlier in this class or even in a previous class. It's absolutely fine. The thing, let me before I move on, let me just go back here to say this. When I've got, I'm gonna pick up my phone here. When I have my phone and I open up the Memories app and I click plus and record audio, here's the beautiful thing about this. I can be at my aunt's house or at a nursing home, and I can just begin recording, and I can lay that phone down and I can say, Grandma, tell me about the time that such and such happened. And I can do it. I've done this when both of my great aunts were there. And so I could say, can you guys tell me, I've heard the story from Grandma a bunch of times, but can you two tell me the story about when Aunt Elsie went down the river floating on her back? And then they start talking, and I can tag them in the memory. I can have, this is the part where I'm saying that the very elderly and the very young. I can record a child singing, I am a child of God, and I can attach that to their person page. Think about how cool it would be for you to have a memory of yourself that you could go listen to, that your parents recorded of you sharing your testimony to the Savior when you were 4 or 5 years old. And or if someone is a missionary serving a mission, they can record memories as they are serving their mission. Think about what it would be like to go in and hear your grandparents talking about their missions that they served. I mean, some of what we're doing is for us now, and some of what we're doing is for the people who are coming after. And using the app makes it so easy to preserve these memories. What do you remember? And what can you ask other people that they remember? Okay, part 5, some pro tips about memories. So, pros use topic tags. So in the details of your memory, you can add topic tags. So you can put in, like, it auto-fills some suggestions like baptism, recipes, war hero, whatever. You can put whatever you want. But so let's say I uploaded a recipe card that was my grandmother wrote. Like, this recipe is in my grandma's handwriting. And I tagged it, recipe, cookies, peanut butter cookies. It will start auto-filling because other people have probably used that tag or a similar tag. You can see that 1.4 thousand people have used the tag recipe, 187 have used the tag cookies, and 3 have tagged peanut butter cookies. Topic tags are searchable. So when I go to memories and I click find, I do the drop down menu and I do find, then I can type in recipe and it will pull up all these recipes. So pro tip, if you're looking for a really good recipe, you can probably find it in Family Search. People are uploading their family's favorite recipes. What a great place to find recipes. So now when I'm looking for a really good cookie recipe, Family Search is the first place I go, because people who are taking the time to upload a recipe to Family Search, usually it's a recipe that meant something to their family. So I just think that is so cool, and I think hardly anybody knows about it. So you can really feel like a pro. Again, let me show you again how to do that. You go to memories, you're just in Family Search, choose memories, and then under find, click find, and then type in what you want and click search topic tags. And then anybody who tagged it, it will come up. But see, this is where you can find, like, let's say I tag something US Navy, or US Navy Vietnam, US Navy World War II, right? So I can tag pictures of my grandfather. I can tag like Marine Air Group 25 or MAG 25. I can tag US Navy, Marines, World War II, right? And other people searching can find. And just today at church, a man in my ward said that he had uploaded like 75 pictures for something from his family, and people were tagging the other people in it, right? They can be very happy that you uploaded something, and they're more likely to find it when you use those topic tags. All right, pro tip number 2, pros share on social media. You can share right from Family Search. You can share memories right from Family Search. Now, if you're not on Facebook or Twitter or Pinterest or WhatsApp, you can email, and you can also even copy a link. Each memory has a URL that goes directly to it that you can share. So you can email it out. And so let me show you what I did. I today uploaded my grandma's peanut butter cookie recipe, and then I went and put it in our Gates family Facebook group. And I said, hey, if you didn't know, you can upload recipes. Here's Grandma Maury's peanut butter cookie recipe. Now, let me go back so I can show you one more thing. Do you see how Pinterest is one of the choices? Stay tuned. I'm going to do a whole class, I think, on using Pinterest in Family Search. Pinterest is a very powerful search engine, and it's really great for family history. If you use Pinterest at all, you can create a Pinterest board for your family history, and you can share your memories straight to Pinterest from Family Search memories. Isn't that amazing? Just click share under this is the title of the memory. Click share, and all of these options will open up for you. All right, pro tip number 3, pros bookmark favorite memories. So here's a memory, here's the title of it, Gates Children. You see here that this is hollow. If I click it, then it will add it to my bookmarks, and then it will get filled in. You see how it's filled in right here. That means it's been bookmarked. What a bookmark does is it makes it really easy for you to find favorite memories. So it also does this. It says, Lisa Van Gamert bookmarked this memory. If other people bookmark it, it'll save it here. It's almost like likes. Then how you find your bookmarks is you click gallery. So you go to Family Search, click gallery, and down here it will say bookmarks, and however many memories you've bookmarked, it'll show. So when I took this screenshot, I had 1. And however many bookmarks you have, and then you can click and it'll take you right to the bookmarks. So maybe you have 50 or 68 things that are your favorites, or maybe 5 or 10 or whatever, but you'll always be able to find them really easily. And then actually you can see down here the albums. You'll be able to see, I wasn't trying to take a picture of that, so I cut it off, but you can see that I have my albums here, and I can go look at all the pictures from a particular album. So that is pro tip number 3. All right, so those were my 3 pro tips today for using family search memories. So what I hope that you got out of this is an understanding that there are 4 different types of memories, and that titles and descriptions are really important to do correctly, and you got some best practices for that. You also got to understand why the app is so great for recording memories. It's just so easy to record right from the app. And then some pro tips with regard to using topic tags, sharing on social media, and bookmarking. So I hope that you found it useful today. Next week's class will be the last class in this series. There will be more classes coming up, but this is the end of the series, and we probably won't do any more live classes until after the first of the year. But there will be a class next week. Then that topic of that one will be, where do you go from here? So now you know the basics. And I think if you watched all 3 of these classes that we've done, you probably have some skills and some understanding of family search that you didn't have before. And you probably have a lot of things that you could do in your family tree. I hope that if you have any questions, that you will reach out. In the recordings, I have a link to the Facebook group, but you can always comment. I get a notification if someone comments on a video, and so if you have a question, you can do that. Many of you know me, so just reach out. And if you have something that you would like a class on, like how do you do this, please share it in the comments. I'd be more than happy to help you in anything that you're looking for. And I look forward to next week's class, and I hope that you do too. So I'm going to go ahead. I don't see any questions, so I'm going to go ahead and end the live stream. The recording will be up at some point, right? YouTube sometimes takes a little bit longer. So I hope that I see you in the next class, and I hope